Shen Qinghu, a daughter of the Shen family from a destitute cultivation family, almost ate her own cousin's fiancé who fell into the water and fell into a bone rack for stealing and raising ferocious fish cubs. She was punished to become a lord in the eastern wilderness, competing with heaven, earth, and fierce beasts for her life. Keywords of the novel. The protagonist is a bit salty without pop-ups. The protagonist is a bit salty. Download the complete text, and read the latest chapters. Chapter 1. Your Majesty, she has been a bit annoyed lately. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Your Majesty, she has been a bit annoyed lately. Shen Qinghu has been a bit annoyed lately. She has had a pregnancy, but her main soul only regained consciousness last year. This is mainly because the food used for snacks contains too little energy, and due to her young age, she is unable to obtain high-energy spiritual items. The reason why the main soul can wake up at the age of 15 is because the physical mother and young brother often take her out to steal food, otherwise it would be too late. It's unreasonable to think that Her Majesty, a resounding divine king, ended up so pitiful. After waking up, she originally thought that her family needed to recast her divine body, and consolidating her elemental soul was her family's responsibility. She never wanted to drag down her own parents in this world, so she came up with a way to raise a pool of fierce beast fish cubs containing high spiritual energy and flesh, thinking to herself that if she raised them to eat, it would not affect anyone else. A few days ago, before the fish cub was raised, his future brother-in-law fell down first. Although someone immediately lifted him out, he was almost eaten to the bone. TSK, how pitiful. Later, my brother-in-law's family held on to me tightly and insisted on punishing me to become a lord in the eastern wilderness. The problem is that she is now delicate and weak, and even if she goes there, she can still deliver food. Does she really need to change her body? Qinghu Yuzu is scratching his little head, annoying. Shen Qinghu's biological father, Shen Qinghu, the son of the Shen family, walked in. My daughter's small house is quite tidy, although the sparrow is small, it has all 5 internal organs. My wife has made many arrangements. Shen Qinghu waved his hand to invite his daughter to sit next to him. Do you know you're wrong? Hee, Shen Qinghu chuckled foolishly. If it weren't for the Ren family's ancestors' severed limb rebirth pill, the person would have been completely disabled, and your cousin would have had to become a living widow, do you know? I didn't let them into my yard again. Shen Qinghu felt wronged, too wronged. So I haven't asked you to raise a pond of 8th order ferocious fish yet. Shen Fang asked in silence. It's too late to say anything now. Dad will ask you, do you dare to go and cultivate land? Shen Qinghu asked. Shen Qinghu was a bit surprised upon hearing these words. Dad, isn't it like I'm going there to deliver groceries? With just my small physique, how many ferocious beasts can gnaw on me? Actually, Dad has thought about it, this is an opportunity, Shen Qinghu said. If you go, you'll make a name for yourself. Leave the rest to you, Zhao Bo, and he'll follow you as a butler. Is it just Zhao Bo, my good friend? Shen Qinghu asked. Yes, it's him. I don't need to worry about anything, just give me a name. Is anyone protecting me? Shen Qinghu asked the elf. Well behaved, how could Dad not send someone to protect you? But they will go another way, and when you arrive, you will naturally be able to see them. There are not many people, only 5 people, but protecting you alone is enough. Also, your 4th brother will go over. Clearly, Dad sent him to protect you. That's it too. 4th brother has already refined 6 levels of Qi, he's very powerful. Unable to defeat fierce beasts, can't we still run? As long as someone protects her, Qinghu thinks her survival rate is still quite high. I will also send your elder brother over later than you. Then you and your 4th brother will listen to your Zhao Bo and your elder brother. Okay. Qinghu felt that her father's arrangement was still generous, and finally there was no need to think about changing to another physical body. By the way, how do you plan to solve your fish in the pond? Shen Qinghu smiled as she heard her daughter's newborn calf not afraid of tigers. In fact, his family is really poor, and he plans to break through the 7 layers of foundation construction. My wife has been squatting on the 9 heavens of Qi refining for over 10 years, and it's really impossible to delay. He had been thinking of a way to break the game for a long time, but unexpectedly, a pool of fierce fish cubs brought him a good opportunity. Can I take it with me? Qinghu asked timidly. She really can't bear to part with her own pond of fish. How many meals can she eat when she grows up? And grandchildren have children, grandchildren have children, there is no limit to the number of children and grandchildren she can eat for a lifetime. Shen Qinghu felt a headache. How can you bring so many fish cubs? How about you buy me a royal beast gourd that can hold water, a tribute ferocious beasts? No, a 3,000 red gold coin is too expensive. Shen Qinghu immediately refused her. Why don't you lend me one? Is that enough? This is fine, Shen Qinghu thought for a moment and immediately agreed. But on the surface, all your fish cubs must be executed by me. Dad, go buy a batch of 9th level ferocious fish cubs and execute them. Mine are all 8th level, they are too valuable, and I can't bear to let you kill them, Qinghu negotiated. Shen Qinghu has a headache again. I'm afraid the Ren family will see it. I can't tell it, it's all fish cubs. What can you tell? Besides, didn't you all tell the Ren family it's a 9th level fierce fish cub? Qinghu thought to herself. Actually, I raise a 6th level fierce beast, the light swordfish. You've been watching it for so long, haven't you noticed it? Let me give it a try. What else do you need to bring over? Prepare for the next few days. In 3 days, you'll set off. Is it too fast? Can't it be delayed? Qinghu asked in surprise. No, the Ren family is urging urgently. Are you in a hurry to make me die? Don't you understand if you can see through it or not? Shen Fang said in silence. Dad, this is a matter of life and death for me. You don't have parents, can your parents watch you die? Shen Qinghu pinched the little girl's cheek, which was so plump that she must have stolen it outside to have a tooth offering every day. Shen Qinghu could only turn a blind eye to his wife's frequent behavior of selling private liquor through the family's liquor store and then taking her young son and daughter for a dental ceremony. After all, due to resource constraints, even the monthly routine of these foundation-building elders in the family has been halved. Children with a Qi refining period of 6 or more have not had a monthly cycle for 10 years. If they don't make some money privately, are they waiting to starve to death? Shen Qinghu didn't blame the clan leader for being so ruthless in deceiving everyone. He really needed money to buy the foundation building pill to build the foundation for the members of the 9 heavens of Qi refining clan. As long as they build a foundation, the family's strength will greatly increase, and they can also compete for some resources within the county. If she had those resources to feed back, Shen would not have been so trapped all along. Why don't Dad add you 2 more clan members from the side of the house? Qinghu's little hand immediately shook and exerted a lot of force. No, no need. I'm still a child and don't have authority. They won't listen to me. When they discover the little fish I raise, they won't report me for raising the 8th level ferocious fish. If this matter gets overlooked, I think our clan will have to go to the depths of the eastern wilderness to make a living. Shen Qinghu suddenly sweated profusely on his back. Damn it, I forgot about the fierce fish. He doesn't think it's spreading among his clan at all, and the Ren family doesn't know. The Shen family is now like a sieve, with too many loopholes. The 9th level ferocious fish, it's not a big deal for everyone to secretly raise it. The 8th level is really going to die. I know now, the people from the sidelines won't go. When I go to screen young and ordinary people for you, I will also think about it. Innocence is the most important thing. It's better to be an ordinary person who doesn't have much connection with the Shen family. Dad, you just recruit some refugees. I heard there have been quite a few people coming to the county recently. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Snake. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Snake. I know what to do. Shen Qinghu had a plan in mind. 3 days later, Shen Qinghu led the team to set off. It's normal for the little girl to go out and open up the land, and he should go out to see her off all the way. What's abnormal is that this group of mortals and the objects they carry are packed in a total of 70 carts. This batch of large cars was also borrowed by him from the car and horse shop, and he also borrowed a team of cultivator bodyguards from his friends. Their large convoy neatly and slowly left the Shen family. A servant of the Ren family who had been staring at them let out a cold snort, then turned around and quickly ran back to the Ren family. Due to the slow pace of mortals, the long convoy walked for half a month before arriving at Panshi Mountain before the end of June. The small official in Majesty, surnamed Zhao, who was responsible for receiving them, had a friendly attitude and was very fond of laughter. He also had a plump appearance. In fact, Zhao Xiaoli has a good impression of this new Shen family. I thought to myself. At least they came seriously to open up land, bringing people, supplies, and various tools. Compared to those who are called Limei County to open up new territories, but are left alone, obviously lying motionless in Maishan, eating and waiting for death all day long. This is the big lake on Panshi Mountain. Zhao Xiaoli pointed to the endless lake in front of him. The lake is really too big, it looks like a vast expanse. At this moment, blurry white mist formed on the lake. That is the condensation and manifestation of water spiritual energy on the Great Lake. Amidst the white mist, one can vaguely see islands of various sizes scattered throughout. This lake is so big. Qinghu exclaimed in surprise. Yes, Lord Shen, Zhao Xiaoli said with a smile as he looked at the little girl. This lake leader, although it seems to be on the mountaintop, has a radius of 300 miles. Qinghu was surprised and immediately asked, how big is it? I have never seen such a large mountaintop lake in the geography atlas of the human tribes. That's not it, otherwise how could this be the eastern wilderness? Within the great wilderness, anything strange can happen naturally. The depth of this great lake exceeds 80 zhang. There is also a huge waterway leading to an underground river at the bottom of the lake. Donghuang is not without drought, but the water level of this great lake has never dropped. The introduction of the official completely attracted Qinghu's idea. Directly connected to the underground river, the water level never drops, and we are not afraid of drought. So this place is really suitable for building territories, praised Qinghu. In fact, what I was thinking was, Emma, it's so suitable for my fish to grow. I won't worry about what to eat after eating everything in the lake. We have an underground river, a huge food source, and we can eat along the river. Yes, yes, yes. The young official said happily after hearing these words, this is indeed one of the top 10 most suitable land for reclamation in this county. Apart from the drawback of often inexplicably producing a lot of ferocious beasts here. Cough, this flaw is already scary enough. This ghost place has lost 6 consecutive lords. None of them survived for 6 months. We'll take this place, Xiao Qinghu waved her small hand arrogantly, with a hint of her father paying the bill. Shen Qinghu almost laughed when she saw it. Shen Qinghu shook his beard and didn't hit anyone, after all, outsiders were there. If you don't have any objections, that would be great. I think this territory is particularly good, really. Moreover, others' territory only has a 6-month tax exemption period, but your family's territory has a full year of tax exemption period. What? You still need to pay taxes? Little Qinghu asked in shock. Cough cough, when you came, your family didn't tell you that for the land to be reclaimed, they had to pay an annual reclamation tax of 100,000 kilograms of grain and 50,000 kilograms of meat. The clerk asked in surprise. No, and you mentioned too many numbers, right? Our family only earns 300,000 kilograms of grain and 80,000 kilograms of meat a year, said Shen Qinghu. Shut up. Don't worry, Mr. Zhao. Our family will definitely pay all the land reclamation tax next autumn. Shen Qinghu quickly arched his hand and apologized. The official looked at Shen Qinghu and then at Qinghu's father, thinking to himself that this was another daughter of a pit father. You must remember that paying taxes every year is mandatory. Yes, definitely all of them, Shen Qinghu said immediately. The previous lords built many houses around the Great Lake. There are also houses by the lake and islands in the lake. The latest ones are the houses built by your previous lords on that peninsula. They are all 80% new. Zhao Xiaoli led his people up to the peninsula. This is a peninsula that resembles a small hand. The wrist is connected to the lakeshore, and not far away is the mountain pass where they came up. As soon as you look at the small island, there are iron forests everywhere. Donghuang iron wood is a good material for making bows, arrows, and houses. Looking at the size and thickness of the ironwood forest in front of us, this batch of ironwood has been growing for at least 50 or 60 years. The iron trees on the island were all planted by a reclamation lord 60 years ago. The official took the initiative to introduce them to the iron trees on the border. By bypassing some iron trees at the edge of the peninsula, one can see an open space. There are many dilapidated houses scattered on the vacant land, which is a small village full of dirt. Qinghu stepped directly on a broken hoe. Just a few steps away in the grass, there is still half a skull. Xiao Bai almost jumped up when he saw it, and was pulled away by Qingzhen's servant Qingchuan. Zhao Xiaoli saw it and said, skeletons and other things are often seen in the eastern wilderness. Don't mind too much. Look at these houses, although they are broken, they can still be used even if they are repaired. The father and daughter looked together at the filthy and bloody stains all over the wall. Those things don't affect the materials of the house, the clerk added intentionally. The Shen family of 3 said, Of course you can also dismantle and rebuild it. Demolished and rebuilt. Shen Qinghu immediately made a decision. Watching those things every day is disgusting. Alright, let's watch it. Every month you persist in the new territory, Maishan will receive a reward. I will come back after you have lived for a full month. If you don't give up and plan to continue farming, I will represent Maishan County to support a small batch of seeds for you. That's really great, thank you very much, Lord Maishan County. They are all human race, it's only right for you to cultivate the land well and receive rewards, said the official. By the way, my name is Zhao Hosheng. Mr. Zhao, everyone saluted in unison. Zhao Xiaoli pleaded not to be polite. See you next month, Shen Qinghu said as a gift, bringing in 20 red gold coins as a gift. Zhao Xiaoli left happily. After he left, Shen Qinghu began to make arrangements. Qing, lead someone to set up your sister's tent first. Then go and set up someone else's tent. Anyway, you need enough tents to set up before it gets dark. Take orders. Jing called out a few young boys who had been familiar with him for the past half-month and left. Lao Zhao, you lead someone to first repair the houses of the Qinghu siblings. Hurry up and move out all the materials we bring with us. Try to dig out the foundation before dark. Take orders. Zhao Bo also called for someone to leave. Others come with me to unload the carts. Once these carriages are unloaded, they will leave. Later, I will take some people to escort the coachmen and bodyguards to Maishan County, and also buy some daily necessities. If you need any more farming tools, just let me know. I will go and purchase them. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Red Armor. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 4. Jing of Air. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Jing of Air my dear father has just left, and the meat has not been served yet. Shen Qinghu couldn't help but ask, what do we have for dinner? Is it still grilled meat? How about having spicy crabs? Take a nap first, and we'll talk later. After eating and drinking, Shen Qinghu decided to go back to the tent and sleep. The tent that Siggy just set up for her has already been covered with thick bedding. As a result, when I fell asleep, I felt something soft crawling on my face. Shen Qinghu immediately grabbed the little thing in her hand and opened her eyes to see that it was actually a chubby meat bug. Is this the larva of the green moth? Shen Qinghu quickly got up and put the green moth into a small plate. Xiao Bai, come in quickly. A little girl, about 15 or 16 years old, immediately walked in. Miss, what are you asking me for? Look at what this is. This kind of green insect is the larva of the 9th order ferocious beast, the green moth. It's delicious. Hurry up and ask people to search around. If there are many, pick up more and fry them in the pot. The taste. Shen Qinghu said with a dreamy expression. Little Bai is happy to watch. Miss, don't worry, I'm sure I can handle this matter. When it was time for dinner, the siblings ate fried insects again and their mouths were full of oil. Crunchy and chicken-like. Delicious, delicious. Oh my, Shen Qinghu, why are you so good at eating? You've come up with a new way to eat these green moth larvae. Last time, Bai Weizhai launched a new dish called delicious fried silkworm. Since silkworms can eat it, so can the green moth larvae. But to be honest, the green moth larvae are still delicious. Bai Weizhai's fried silkworm meat is a bit tough, not as tender as the green moth larvae. Shen Qinghu, who often secretly takes Xiao Bai to improve her life, said. They are raised, but we are wild. Can we have a taste? Shen Qing, silent roast. If it's really delicious to raise, why should it be at least 2/3 cheaper than wild game? What you said makes sense, Shen Qinghu nodded and said. What will we have tomorrow? After finishing the green worms, Shen Qinghu couldn't help but ask. Shen Qinghu. What about the remaining crab meat that morning? Asked Shen Qinghu. Naturally, it's for the mortals who come to eat it. How can we eat the dead crab tomorrow? It's not delicious anymore, Shen Qinghu said decisively. Okay, but we can't just eat the ferocious beast's meat for free. I'll teach them the blood-kill breathing technique later, and count the few we can learn. You can't just have me and Qingchuan as cultivators on your end. Xiao Bai is also a cultivator. What's the use of double? I'm also a cultivator, I'm also a quadruple. Besides, these bugs were all found by Xiao Bai with people. She's quite useful then, Shen Qinghu immediately changed her tone. In order to eat, Shen Qinghu was particularly flexible and adaptable. Besides, there are 5 cultivators he secretly gave us, as well as Zhao Bo. Qinghu deliberately lowered her voice. There aren't many cultivators there either. What if you encounter high-level ferocious beasts or beast-tide? Jing replied slightly. Qinghu looked at her brother with a headache. Jing also looked at her younger sister with a helpless expression. A clever woman cannot cook without rice, and just this person cannot manage a territory. Brother, you can do it. Thank you for your hard work. Qinghu felt that this troublesome matter was left to her brother to handle, and she vigorously patted his shoulder to encourage him. Jing. This pot is so fast that her sister can throw it. That evening, Qingyin called all the mortals over. Have you eaten all the meat of the 9th order ferocious beast, the red armored crab, at night? He asked. I have eaten it, the boy among the mortals replied happily. Is it delicious? Delicious, everyone said. Do you still want to eat? Qing asked. Think about it. I think too much. I want to eat it all at once. A group of young boys said happily. What are you thinking? That's the meat of the 9th level ferocious beast. As a mortal, you guys ate it all at once and didn't explode, did you? Qing smiled and said. Because he behaved too kindly, the mortal kids boldly said, "Can you also let us practice, young master? Can you read? Do you have any talent for cultivation?" Qing asked in a strange tone of yin and yang. "Young master, can we learn if we don't know how to read? As for whether we have a talent for cultivation, can you let us give it a try? I heard that every cultivation family has breathing techniques. You let us practice them. If we can focus on what we can practice, then we have talent. If we can't practice anything, then we really don't have talent. You're quite clever and talkative. What's your name? How about following me in the future?" "Young master, my name is Deng Xiaolai. I'm willing to follow you." A 14-year-old boy jumped out and stood in front of Qing, smiling especially coquettishly. "Okay, you can learn with me later." Qing looked at him with a smile, quite satisfied. This kid has good physical talent, long hands and feet, and eyebrows look good, as if he is a cultivator. In this eastern wilderness, there is no city protection, and everyone may face fierce beasts at any time, or even be deeply trapped in the tide of fierce beasts. Even this young master, I dare not say that I can save the lives of each and every one of you. But our territory needs construction, and you also need to work every day. It's impossible to stay indoors every day, isn't it? So I have decided to give you one of the breathing techniques used by the cultivators for cultivation. Check if there is anyone among you who can cultivate. As long as you have the talent for cultivation, you can become cultivators. I will vigorously cultivate you. As long as you become a cultivator, not only can you be protected, but our Shen family will also give you high treatment. From then on, you can become winners in life and have an unlimited future. Do you agree or not? Okay, even the elderly and women among the mortals shouted loudly. I never expected that the Shen family would teach them the method of cultivation. Oh, the ordinary people who were previously deceived and forcibly driven here to open up land were all filled with joy, and the complaints and anger in their hearts disappeared without a trace. Anyway, they became refugees. Even if they were taken in by a certain cultivation family, they were still at the bottom, living the most difficult life. They couldn't eat enough, couldn't wear warm clothes, and had to work hard day and night. It's better to come here and fight with all your might. There is a cultivation method here. What if you or your family have a talent for cultivation? As long as you become a cultivator, even the lowest level cultivator, it would be a change of fate for them ordinary people. So are you willing to practice or not? Yes, everyone said in unison. Speak up and tell me if you're willing or not. Qing said in a special tone. Willing. 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 Everyone screamed as they tugged at their necks. Appearing like a fanatic believer. More than 200 people roared together, and the birds on the island and in the surrounding forests were startled and flew away. Why is my fourth brother so like a cultist? Shen Qinghu stood at the entrance of her tent, staring at her with wide eyes and couldn't help but sigh. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Where did you come from? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Where did you come from? What's behind the cult? Little Bai was puzzled. Think about the second grandpa in our neighboring room. He's the old guy who advocates for the decay of the Taoist family all day long. If the human race wants to not exterminate the race, it must change. He blows at home every day, pulling his elder brother and fourth brother, and even you guys don't let go. I often see him give speeches to a group of servants and guards. Who believes he's not a cultist? Think about my fourth brother again, just think about the way he preached to a group of mortals just now. Isn't it like the proud and confident look of the second grandfather in the next room every time he starts teaching the Dharma? Ah pooh, Xiao Bai was amused and burst into laughter. What kind of teaching method is actually telling stories? Miss, We all think that the second old man from the commoner's fourth house makes a lot of sense when telling things, said the novice. Many people in the family like to listen to him. Moreover, the second old man will not look down on us servants, he is very kind and imposing. Shen Qinghu, however, has no good impression of that dead old man. Because she knows the true face of that old man. Back then, when Qinghu was only 4 or 5 years old, every time she went out to play, she was secretly grabbed by the old man's collar and threatened, "Where the hell did you come from? You shouldn't be there." Every time Shen Qinghu listens, she rolls her eyes at him. Why shouldn't she be here? Where did she come from? Why should I tell a dead old man? Later, when he threatened her, he was discovered by his elder brother. He immediately grabbed him by the collar and took him away. Since then, the old man dared not continue to threaten her and asked where she came from. Besides, "Miss, why do you say that the second old master is engaged in cults? He just loves to play, make noise, and even tell stories," Xiao Bai explained with a smile. Qinghu inwardly slandered. If others don't know, let her not know. That old guy has regular private contact with the people of the Great Black Sky sect who are wanted and exterminated by the human clan Doubting. He also received those people at home. If you say he's not a member of the Dark Sky cult, even ghosts don't believe him. Don't think that using a formation to block the sound can stop her ears. Not only her, but also their little maid Qingjiao from the fourth room knows. Didn't Qingjiao come to her second grandfather's side since she was young? Qinghu did not report and expose him, but it was just to not burden his parents and brothers. After all, the families of cults are also exiled to the City of Infinity. Alas, his fourth brother is not good at learning, he must learn from that dead old man Qingchuan, come here and teach everyone the blood-kill breathing technique first. Those who can understand must learn it carefully. If you cannot understand, you must memorize it by yourself. After Qingchuan has explained it 3 times, you can raise any questions you don't understand. Is there a problem? No, everyone learned well this time and shouted loudly. Jing was greatly satisfied. Come on, everyone study hard. The teaching class officially begins. Qingchuan calmly walked forward and earnestly taught the ordinary people present how to start breathing practice. Not to mention, the process is quite proficient. After everyone's attention was focused on Qingchuan, Jing quietly walked up to her sister and said, "How was your fourth brother's performance just now?" Unexpectedly, "Fourth brother, you can still train ordinary people." Little Qinghu looked surprised. What's this? Before coming, my dad and the second grandpa next door had both taught me this. Personally, I prefer the method that the second grandpa told me, and I used the method he told me. You see, the effect is so good. The second grandpa is indeed a man with a story. Jing looked very eager to give a thumbs up to the second grandpa. Qinghu. In the future, she will still keep an eye on Dian Sigi and let him avoid hanging out with that dead old man. The Qingchuan lecture is simple, clear, and straightforward. He also demonstrated 3 times how to activate breathing techniques. To learn breathing techniques, one must first enter stillness. This is very difficult and prevents most mortals from becoming cultivators. Everyone learned breathing techniques together, and soon the children, elderly people, and women all left early. Children can't sit still at all, and the elderly and women naturally withdraw to watch the children. The remaining mortals, who couldn't sit still, quickly retreated. Don't think that all the big men can sit still and practice well, and many people can't read. It's really difficult for them to memorize the full text of breathing techniques like heavenly books. Although the temptation to become a monk is quite strong, having no talent means having no talent. They simply gave up on their own. There were over 300 people, and in the end, only 20 or 30 were left to sit down. Those with a good mindset, including Deng Xiaolai. Many ordinary people, young and strong, did not leave and gathered beside them, quietly watching. Although they are not good at it themselves, they still envy those who can practice. Does that Deng Xiaolai really seem to have a talent for cultivation? Xiao Bai looked at the boy curiously. Qingchuan said very clearly. It would be nice if we had 2 or 3 of our 3 ancestors to sit down and practice. Green who roast that our 3 ancestors liked to talk about terminology. When they were young, their scalp became numb. When they went to class, their legs and stomach turned around. My siblings have all been deeply affected by it, and Jing shook her head and said, so I told Qingchuan to prepare the lesson plan and explain it to me first, so others will definitely understand. Xiao Bai. Qinghu nodded and said, 4th brother tried the law by example, and indeed has a spirit of sacrifice. Grandfather is actually the great ancestor of Qinghu and his companions. The 3rd grandfather still has some cultivation talents, and if not, he wouldn't have lived that long. He was also specially arranged by the clan to teach children how to cultivate and enlighten. The problem is that he can cultivate himself, but it doesn't mean he will teach others how to cultivate. Tonight I'll stay up late, can you make me a late-night snack with the remaining fried insects? Jing suddenly said. Qinghu. Eating too much at night can make you fat into balls. It's okay, I don't care if I get chubby. Anyway, I don't want to plan on getting married and having children. Women will affect my sword drawing speed. Qing patted her chest and said. Qinghu. Indeed, 4th brother is deeply poisoned. The lonely old man's 2nd grandfather really didn't teach 4th brother anything good. 4th brother, please don't hang out with 2nd grandpa in the future. He has never had a woman in his life, but his sword drawing speed is not fast. He has been beaten home from outside. If you learn from him, it will be ruined. Cough. Jing almost laughed when she heard Qinghu's mistake. Little girl, if you don't understand, don't talk nonsense. 2nd grandpa is not without a woman in his life. He didn't plan to get married and have children from the beginning. He wasn't beaten home from outside. Sigh, don't ask anyway. Qingchuan over there has already reached the final stage. The breathing technique you have learned is the foundation of the human race, and the Taoist court strictly prohibits the unauthorized dissemination. Therefore, the Shen family's teaching of your breathing technique has not been approved by the Shen family and cannot be disseminated externally. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. The Power of Eating Meat. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. The Power of Eating Meat. Except for the young man sitting on the ground in silence, everyone around should be gathered together. In these years, both the Taoist court and the Shuzhen family have imposed extremely strict restrictions on breathing techniques. The common people who want to become cultivators have no other way to obtain breathing techniques except to join the army and work hard as cannon fodder in the frontier. It is rare for the Shen family to teach them breathing techniques in order to open up new territories. Everyone cherishes them dearly, so it is impossible to spread them to the outside world. Even if I can't do it myself, I can continue to learn from the Shen family even if I have children and grandchildren in the future. Starting from today, whoever can calm down and find a sense of qi can apply to me to obtain an appropriate amount of 9th level beast meat to eat every day, Qing said loudly and arrogantly. Other ordinary people lead the people, as long as you work diligently every day and don't be lazy or slippery. You can also receive a bowl of fierce beast meat soup to drink every day. What? There's meat to eat every day. No, I'll try again. Me too, me too. Ah, a group of half-grown boys were roaring and about to jump up. The meat is here, and the broth is also here. How can they bear to refuse? Walking around, for the sake of eating meat, I say everything in silence. Another young boy ran back and sat down. I won't sleep if I can't fall asleep today. You're all crazy. Okay, I'm crazy too. I don't believe this meat can't be eaten. Another young boy rushed back. Originally, there were only 20 or 30 people sitting there in silence, but now when they heard of meat to eat, it suddenly turned into about 60 people. More than half of the boys in their teens and 20s have gone into silence. Even 4 or 5 girls went back. Jing suddenly widened her eyes, not expecting the power of eating meat to be so great. Surprisingly, it was able to make even those who were not interested in cultivation run to practice. Xiao Bai also looked shocked and said to his young lady, Miss, they ran back to quiet again to eat meat. What's so strange about this? If it were me, I would also go back. It's not difficult to calm down, as long as you stay calm. Eating meat is a big deal, Qinghu emphasized. Very good, that's all you need to do. You will have a full meal, a large plate of meat and meat soup. As long as you practice well, you will have everything, Qing continued to promote loudly. As soon as his words fell, several middle-aged and old men also returned to silence. Qingchuan, could you please explain to everyone how to enter stillness and how to activate breathing techniques? Seeing everyone's enthusiasm, Qing felt great and asked Qingchuan, the special lecturer, to give another reinforcement class. Qingchuan walked forward and began teaching again. This time he spoke in more detail and straightforwardly. In some places, he simply added many examples that are easy for ordinary people to understand, so that everyone can understand what cultivation is all about. Little sister, take a look, the situation is very good. It's probably not long before some of them will gain a sense of anger. Qing happily walked up to the girl and boasted. Blood-killing breathing method is already simple and easy to learn. Qingchuan, the lecturer, has outstanding abilities and is able to explain more and more clearly. It is indeed possible that in the future, his fourth brother may gain several cultivators who can gain a sense of qi. Fourth brother, your Qingchuan is really good. No wonder when the clan wanted to choose a close servant for you, they sent 20 young boys and didn't even care about them. They just brought Qingchuan back from outside, Qinghu praised. Qingjing's eyes are a bit strange. Is the secret about to be hidden? In fact, Qingchuan is the son of his father's friend, who brought him back to take care of him because there was an accident at home. He is not an ordinary servant, he promised his father not to tell anyone about this matter. But over the years, he has kept Qingchuan as his younger brother. If Qingchuan doesn't have the ability, can Dad bring me here? Qing said awkwardly. Well, that's right. Xiao Bai is also very capable, and Dad is really a good person, Qinghu said with great satisfaction. Upon hearing these words, Jing suddenly felt helpless in her heart. Qingchuan, who was by his side, could still receive his good training. What about Xiao Bai? Following Qinghu's side is all sorts of excuses for her laziness. Sigh, she's such a good child who was delayed. Little sister, do you think I need to find a teacher and teach them how to read first? Jing looked at Qingchuan's lecture and suddenly had a new idea. No need, we need to hire a teacher specifically to teach them how to read. We have to run a school, get pens, ink, paper, and inkstones, and even pay the teacher for work. What a waste of money, we don't have any money. Qinghu looked at her brother with a look of poverty on her face. Jing trembled and forgot that she had no money. What should she do? It's better for Qingchuan or Xiao Bai to teach people who can calm down how to read after dinner when everyone is idle. Practicing on the ground with a tree branch, not just to write, but to recognize and read. Jing frowned and said, what should they do when they gain a sense of qi and officially become cultivators who want to learn more martial arts, body methods, and other cultivation secret books? Just knowing a few words can help them understand those secret books. After they gain a sense of qi, their strength will increase and their bodies will become more agile. They can hunt on their own, harvest prey and sell it to us for money. With the money, they can learn to read and learn on their own. There are also many literate people in our territory. At least Qingchuan is literate, so let them learn alone. Qingchuan can also earn some pocket money. In short, we cannot afford to pay, Qinghu emphasized in particular. Qinghu. Her little eyes showed. I didn't expect you to have such a stingy expression on Qinghu's face. Qinghu also telegraphed back with her eyes. I just don't have money, I love everything. How much does a teacher need to earn in a month? At most 10 red gold coins, and some cheap pens, ink, paper, and inkstones. How much money can he spend? At most dozens of red gold coins. Qing continued to persuade him. Then the 200 red gold coins pocket money you agreed on every month will be gone. No way. Then listen to me. It's better to earn money to read on your own, so that they study diligently. After all, it's your own who paid a big price. Qinghu said with a look on her face, I did this for everyone's good. Jing. I actually think the young lady is right. If literacy is so easy, it's all arranged by the young master, and everyone won't cherish it. But if it's their own hard work and money they put in to get the opportunity to read, then they will definitely cherish every opportunity to attend classes and work hard to learn every word taught by the literacy master. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. What mother raises what sister? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. What mother raises what sister? Okay, I'll listen to you. Jing finally compromised. The key is that if Qinghu doesn't agree to pay, Xiao Bo won't give him money to consult Mr. Xu. Jing felt toothache and thought to herself, her mother is just tall. Qinghu can do nothing, but she is in charge of money. As long as she refuses Xiao Bo, she will not contribute money. The problem is that Qinghu is extremely stingy. The 3,000 red gold coins left by her father before leaving are afraid to be saved up to her elder brother, and Qinghu doesn't even bring a penny. How could he have such a stingy girl? Oh, thinking of the stingy girl, Jing suddenly remembered her own old lady who was also stingy, and even more so. Heart said, what kind of mother is raising what kind of sister? Feng Xinyang. Ahem, I sneezed 3 times in a row. Who is so diligent in nagging me? Maybe it's either Qinghu or Jing. They're the only two who can't bear to leave me. They've only been away from me for a few days now, they just miss me so much. The steward aunt standing next to Feng Xinyang listened in silence. My wife's narcissism has become increasingly severe. The influence of teaching ordinary people to practice is quite significant, as there are people who remain awake all night and are determined to gain a sense of qi as soon as possible. Early the next morning, Qinghu heard a commotion outside. When she finished grooming and walked out of the tent, she heard someone say that Deng Xiaolai had a sense of anger. This cultivation qualification is so broad. At this moment, Deng Xiaolai was standing beside Jing happily, standing tall and accepting everyone's praise. Good morning, fourth brother. I heard that Deng Xiaolai has a sense of anger now. This aptitude is good, it should be considered a second-class cultivation aptitude, right? The spiritual root should also be good. I remember Qingchuan and Xiaobai both had a sense of anger in 2 hours, and Deng Xiaolai was only slightly inferior to them. Deng Xiaolai, who was originally happy, suddenly became lethargic. He looked incredulously at Qingchuan, who had been completely expressionless, and the foolish maid Xiaobai. My mind keeps spinning, why are the two of them so strong? Big brother almost immediately sensed the sense of qi as soon as he practiced, and so did you. I was almost an hour old. We should be first-class qualifications, followed by Qingchuan and Xiaobai. I should be considered a third-class qualification, right? Qingying guessed. If Qingying's biological father Shen Qinghu were here, he would definitely solemnly tell his son. No, you're wrong, kid. Your older brother and younger sister are demons, they are not the normal cultivation abilities of humans. Qingchuan and Xiaobai, one is a family accident, and the other is a poor family from a young age with a weak foundation. In fact, their qualifications are the same as yours. You are the normal first-class cultivation qualifications. Deng Xiaolai's qualifications are also considered quite good, at least they can be considered as second-class peak qualifications. If he is well trained and has a solid foundation since childhood, he may also have a first-class qualification. Deng Xiaolai's face became even more disheartened upon hearing these words. You don't have to worry, the third-class qualification is also quite good. My mother is also a third-class qualification, and she has also cultivated to the perfect level of qi refining. Qing patted Deng Xiaolai's small shoulder and said, qualification will only be your early support. If you want to go far, it depends on whether your intention to go to the Tao is firm. This is what Shen Qinghu said to the young Qing back then. The main reason is that the young son's talent is very normal, too normal, and cannot be compared to the demon's eldest son and youngest daughter. In order to prevent his youngest son from losing his motivation to strive for the Tao, Shen Qinghu had to say this, using himself as an example. What's the point of almost having qualifications? Look at me, my qualifications are one class worse than your second uncle's. He has first-class qualifications, and I have second-class qualifications. At first, everyone didn't think highly of me, but now I have built a foundation. Your second uncle is still stuck in the qi refining realm to pursue his wife. So whether the heart of Xiang Dao is firm or not is the fundamental factor that determines your future achievements. Unexpectedly, the young Qing was almost instantly swayed by him. Sure enough, women will affect the speed of my sword drawing. Without a woman in my heart, drawing a sword is natural. So he also wants to be a single god in the future. Deng Xiaolai nodded solemnly upon hearing these words. But all the pride on his face was gone. They have such good qualifications in Qingchuan, and they are not proud. He is just one of the outstanding cultivators among a group of mortals, so there is nothing to be proud of. Since Deng Xiaolai felt angry all night, Shen Qinghu didn't pay much attention to him. He thought to himself that when he became a great cultivator, maybe Shen Qinghu would bow in front of him. But now he dare not think so. He cultivates, and the young master Qingming also cultivates. Maybe he won't be able to catch up with him in his lifetime. Deng Xiaolai immediately shifted the cultivation reference, to Qingchuan's head as the pursuit target for cultivation. Don't worry, young master. Let's catch up with Qingchuan first. Is anyone else feeling angry besides Deng Xiaolai? Qinghu asked. No, just Deng Xiaolai. But there are still a few who have truly fallen silent. These people have good cultivation qualifications, and they are expected to have a sense of qi within a month, reported Qingchuan Hui. That's all right. On the first day we established our territory, someone opened the door to cultivators, and a few others will also open it within a month. Our entire territory only has 200 people. With this result, even if we start well, right? Qinghu turned her head and asked the fourth brother beside her. Qing nodded in satisfaction. No wonder Daddy and Big Brother used to say they wanted to come out and become lords. They said that being a lord is the only way out. Did both Dad and Big Brother say such things? Qinghu suspected, why haven't I heard of it? Are you a girl? I was just waiting for my dad and Big Brother to find a good family to marry you. Fourth brother, you won't have any friends after chatting like this, said Qinghu. To be honest, our family doesn't expect you to make achievements. Find a good man to marry, have a litter of children, and make me a good uncle. This is not a natural thing. Who knows if your fate is not good, you were brought here by the Ren family to cultivate land and become a lord. This dilapidated place, apart from our territory, has not even a ghost within 30 miles, let alone people. If you keep squatting here in the future, how can you find a good man to accept it? Before Jing could finish her lengthy laments, her feet were violently trampled on by the fierce Shen Xiaoyu. This girl actually used her magic. Oh my, it hurts. His feet are not going to be crushed, are they? Qing Xiaohu, being a shrew has no future, no man loves a shrew. Fourth brother, didn't you say that there is no man in your heart, and pulling out your sword is natural? I won't get married in the future, Qinghu said angrily, pinching her waist with both hands. Oh, no, 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 I didn't say that. Qing suddenly felt uneasy. What if the younger sister really couldn't get married and the older brother didn't kill him? Sister, don't think that way. There are still good people among men. Even if you are a shrew, there are still people willing to marry you, Qing screamed miserably. I signed a contract today, please get 2 monthly tickets, hee. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Mortals cannot claim to be gods. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Mortals cannot claim to be gods, I don't believe it, Qinghu paused word by word, I won't get married. When my older brother comes, I'll tell him that you taught me that. The needle on the wasp's tail is the most poisonous to women's hearts. Sister, I am your own brother. How could you accuse me of such a black situation? Qing immediately became anxious and begged for mercy. Please, it's all fourth brother who said the wrong thing. I won't speak recklessly anymore. I apologize, I apologize. If I say you're a shrew again, then punish me and I'll never find a daughter. In law. How about that? No, you're really happy if you can't find a wife. How can you do that? If you dare to ask me to marry every day and say I'm a shrew, then you'll be punished with marrying 3 daughters in a year and having 10 children in 5 years. Qinghu found a new punishment method for her fourth brother. Too vicious, isn't it? Jing was stunned upon hearing this. Who is cruel? Who is cruel? Qinghu angrily slashed his eyeliner at his face. It's me who's ruthless, it's me who's ruthless, Jing quickly flattered. Qinghu snorted heavily at him. So if I promise you, you won't accuse me of my wrongdoing in front of my older brother? Qing asked cautiously. I'll forgive you once, Qinghu proudly raised her small face. Jing cried as she thought of marrying 3 daughters in a year and having 10 children in 5 years. If one day he is truly miserable like this, how will he live? But if he doesn't agree, Big Brother will definitely beat him to death. Which one is more acceptable to him, malicious punishment or being beaten by an older brother? Let's still punish him maliciously. Anyway, he has decided to control his mouth from now on and never say that his younger sister is a shrew again. Okay, let's make a deal. Then we won't say you're a shrew anymore. Also, you can't force me to get married. That's my mother's business, I don't care anymore. Qing lowered her head in despair. Then even if we turn the page, the little dog always breaks his promise. We must keep what we say, Qinghu reminded him. Okay. Qing raised her hand and begged for mercy. After we finish breakfast, will you take people to tidy up the wasteland while Zhao Bo continues to take people to repair the house? Qinghu asked. What about you, what are you doing? Jing asked inexplicably. I plan to take Xiaobai to pick up some wild fruits to eat, Qinghu said confidently. Wild fruits? Where are there wild fruits? Jing asked in surprise. It's on the small hill next to the abandoned field. I can see a lot of red and green, but it's a bit small, said Qinghu. Upon hearing this, Jing suddenly felt like she was craving again. Let's go together, I'll have Qingchuan take people to prepare the ground. Okay, then let's finish breakfast and go together. Qinghu immediately agreed. What do you want for breakfast? I haven't had any love for pancakes or porridge for nearly a month. Qing said carelessly. Let's go and pick up some delicious food and see if it can be used as breakfast. The fourth brother said that the green coral was also unwilling to eat porridge, with cakes and dishes. Although porridge and cakes are cooked and steamed with rice. But eating the same food every day is unbearable for anyone. Pick it up. Where are you going to pick it up? Qing looked left and right, but she didn't find any place to pick up food. Come with me. Qinghu took fourth brother and Deng Xiaolai, and Xiaobai walked towards the lake together. When she arrived at the lake, Qinghu looked at the lake and loudly said, "Fish, bring some delicious food to your sister." Jing immediately burst into laughter upon hearing this. "Haha, so you're planning on picking it up like this? It's weird if there's something you can pick up. Can the fish in the lake listen to you?" Bang, a big grass carp weighing about 10 pounds fell straight to Qingjing's feet with its tail thrown, and the splashes of water from its tail even covered Qingjing's face. Qingjing suddenly widened her mouth. Deng Xiaolai and Xiaobai were both shocked and speechless. Immediately after, a large number of grass carp flew into the sky one by one, jumping directly from the lake, and then obediently landed in front of Qingjing. Pili Pulu water droplets danced all over the sky, constantly landing on Qingjing's face, shoulders, and body. Qingjing. He looked at his little sister Qinghu, then at the grass carp weighing from 7 to 8 pounds to about 10 pounds that were constantly bouncing and struggling on the ground with their tails swaying. With a stiff and dry smile, he asked, "What exactly is going on?" In just a moment, there were over 200 big grass carp jumping ashore. At least 4,000 pounds of fish. Shocked. There is such a large school of grass carp in this lake, and if he is not mistaken, all these grass carp are genuine 9th-level ferocious beasts. These big grass carp are not ordinary farmed grass carp with fierce animal bloodline, which have been raised by humans for many generations and have almost been domesticated to lose the ferocity of fierce animals. But the real culprit, the big grass carp. One by one, they have fierce teeth and strong qi and blood, indicating that they are filled with spiritual energy in their flesh and blood. Xiaohua, what's going on here? Why did you call them and they flew ashore? I must know that I want to eat fish congee today. The green coral nodded with satisfaction. What does it have to do with them jumping ashore themselves if you want to eat fish fillet congee? Qing asked with a headache. It's definitely related, I want to eat them, so they're here, Qinghu said with great certainty. I'm still eating big white shrimp. Why don't I jump up and order some? You can't do it. Qinghu angrily raised her small hand and shook it a few times in front of him. Looking for a fight with you? Qingjing said angrily. Do you dare to hit me and give it a try? I'll have my mother tidy you up well when I come back. Qinghu said she's not afraid of the little brother, and she also has a big backing. Qingjing has a headache. So, how exactly did these fish come up? Qingjing asked in confusion. I came up on my own. Nonsense, I know they came up on their own. I just want to know why they came up on their own. Because I want to eat. If you want to eat. If you want to eat, they will come up. Do you think you are a deity or a Taoist master? Qingying retorted angrily. Fourth brother, you are so smart. You even know that I am a god. Qinghu suddenly smiled brightly. Qingjing. Miss, gods cannot be played with, and ordinary people cannot claim to be gods. We do not believe in them, but at least we must respect them. Although most gods in the human race area are taken in by the Taoist court and have some restrictions, there are still many wild gods causing chaos every year. After Qingchuan finished class, he quickly walked over and happened to hear his own young lady joking with his own young master about the gods. Words like, I am a god, can easily provoke the anger of nearby deities. The gods will not allow mortals to be among them. Ordinary people cannot claim to be gods, otherwise they will face their anger. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Flying Bird Express. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 Flying Bird Express. I don't claim to be a deity. Qinghu said confidently, who would be willing to mingle with those spirits that lower their demeanor. The gods in this world can be crossed, and anyone who is a spirit monster can call themselves a god as long as they understand cultivation and the art of incense and fire to nourish the spirit. It is unbelievable that even a single lightning technique can destroy a divine form without cultivating one's body. But miss, you just claimed to be a god. Qinghuan was speechless. Yes, I am the god of the fish in the lake, Qinghu said with a big grin. I'll let them do whatever they want, they'll do it. Ghost, don't believe her, Jing said angrily. She was talking nonsense there. What is nonsense? Qinghu was unwilling. Fish, bring up a king's 8 and have a stewed king's 8 as the main dish for lunch. Collision, a king 8 with a copper carapace the size of an ordinary round table also flew up. With a thud, it landed at Qingjing's feet. Wan Ba, who was thrown up, was momentarily confused. After chatting with Qingjing Big Eyes and Xiaoyan for a while, they finally realized that they had actually landed, and there was also a human cultivator standing across from them with a precision steel sword at his waist. King Ba was so scared that he crawled towards the lake with a thud. That speed is almost catching up with the galloping ox cart. Unfortunately, it was only a few steps away when someone stepped on its shell. Copper-armored turtle, don't run away. Qing wielded a big knife and with a rustling sound, dismantled the big 8 directly. Even Wan Bakshu was not wasted, and Qinghuan took it away with a gourd. The 9th level demon beast's blood is a good material for rune ink, and it cannot flow away in vain. Qingying was particularly happy as she watched the young men use small wooden carts to drag away the big 8, including their shells and meat. She also dragged away a group of big grass carp that had not yet died in vain before turning to her sister and saying, "What is there in the lake? How could we still send you ferocious beasts? Have you forgotten the fish cubs I raised?" Qinghu said with a smile. 8th level white swordfish. But can the 8th level white swordfish understand what you want to eat? Can you catch up with things so quickly? Qingying deeply felt incredulous. Sure, the 8th level ferocious beast is very intelligent, said Qinghu. Qingjing doesn't think it's right, but he can't figure out why it's not right. Is a group of fish cubs so supernatural? What's so strange? Why don't you send some food? Or you can go to the lake to catch it yourself. The green coral roast. Qingjing immediately shook her head like a tambourine. He was not foolish, he was not good at water, and when she arrived at the lake, it was still a dish sent to the fierce beasts of all sizes. Where is it like on the shore of a lake? Killing a 9-level ferocious beast named Copper Armored AO is as easy as cutting melons and chopping vegetables. An hour later, the two brothers and sisters sat at a big wooden table, drinking delicious fish congee, eating fragrant fish cakes, eating pickled cucumbers and cold shredded potatoes, enjoying a super life. Lao Zhao walked in and saw the two siblings squatting in front of the table, speechless. Where is it like being punished to cultivate and endure hardship here? Is this the one sent for health preservation during the Chinese New Year? This meal of ferocious beast meat is even more nourishing than their fathers. Zhao Bo, are you here? Why don't we sit down together and have some? Qingjing warmly greeted Lao Zhao as soon as she saw him. Lao Zhao quickly shook his hand. No, I'll go back to eat later. Let's go back to have some fish congee and 2 pieces of fish pie. You two, let's eat first. I just came over to ask, what about the remaining live grass carp? Why are you still alive? It's been more than an hour since we landed, hasn't it? Qingjing was surprised. That's a 9th level ferocious beast, where could it be so easy to die? Even if it's completely free from water, they can resist for a day and a night without any problem. Lao Zhao said, why don't I find someone to dig a pit, add water, and put them in for cultivation? You can eat them whenever you want in the future. That's a good idea, Qingying immediately smiled. Send some to my mother. We have all eaten live fish, but my mother hasn't yet eaten it. My mother must also want to eat fish pie and fish congee. Qinghu feels very filial. This can be there, and my aunt also wants to eat it. How do we transport it? Kill the luck or live the luck? Pushing herself to others, Qingying felt that her aunt specifically liked the big fish they sent. Live fish taste good. The green coral said with emotion after finishing the rest of the fish congee. The shipping cost for live fish is probably very expensive, said Lao Zhao at this moment. He fully agrees with the idea of two little guys wanting to send the fish back. Anyway, no matter under what name he sent the big live fish back, old Shen will definitely be able to eat it. Send them 2 fish, pick the big ones and give them to the postal staff for postage, said Qinghu arrogantly. 2 of them may not be enough, Lao Zhao pondered. Then add 2 more, Qinghu said generously. Anyway, it was for free, not in red gold coins, and she didn't feel any pain at all. That's a loss. 2 ninth-order big grass carp can sell for at least a few hundred red gold coins, Qing said. It's better to chop them into meat pieces, seal them with a cold ice talisman in a large wooden box, and find the fastest flying bird courier in the postal service to deliver them back. This way, at least 2 big grass carp can be saved. Isn't it fragrant to stew these 2 fish for my mother? Why give it to the postal delivery station for free, but the fish section is a dead fish, where is the taste of live fish good? Qinghu hesitated a bit and said. Just after slaughtering, I used a cold ice talisman to freeze it. The taste won't change much when I get home. The most important thing is that it saves money. If you really want Auntie to eat live fish, we can stand firm in 2 months. You can invite Auntie to come and visit you. When Auntie comes, why don't you just eat it casually and choose whatever you want? Okay, let's listen to 4th brother this time. Qinghu gave up on the live fish plan. Upon hearing these words, Jing suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. When my own girl meets my mother, she goes to waste. Although it's filial, she's losing money. Fortunately, he is rational online. Alright, Jing. You can go to the nearby Majesty County to buy some cold ice talismans when you have nothing to do. We didn't have these things in stock when we came. I'll have someone raise the grass carp first, and the wooden large box needs to be made now. I'll find someone to make some. When everything is ready tomorrow, I will have the fish slaughtered and sealed in a box. Qing, please take someone to the post office to deliver it, Lao Zhao said. Zhao Bo, there's no need to buy ice talismans. I still have a small box with 10 9th-level ice talismans, which is enough. Upon hearing this, Lao Zhao roughly estimated that 10 cold ice talismans were indeed sufficient. Okay, I'll find someone to pick it up from you tomorrow. No problem, Qingying said. How many fish can 10 cold ice talismans freeze? Qinghu asked curiously. 1,000 pounds, exactly 100 pounds per box. 10 boxes, the rest can be loaded with more and dragged to the post office to use as postage, said Qingying with experience. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Little Cute Mutant Female Warrior. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Little Cute Mutant Female Warrior. If my older brother and dad are not at home, he usually helps my aunt mail things back to her mother's house. So Qingying can be a skilled worker, definitely not a playboy. After breakfast, those who repair the house, those who make furniture, and those who make boxes should also go to pick fruits. Qinghu and Xiaobai packed themselves up, put on coarse cloth clothes, stepped on baskets, and brought cloth bags. Qingjing has already called 4 young boys, 2 cultivators, as well as himself, Qingchuan, and Deng Xiaolai. I have prepared many bows, arrows, hemp ropes, straw baskets, and other items. Why bring so many people? Qinghu asked as soon as she met him. Who knows what's in the wasteland? What if there's any ferocious beast? Can I protect it alone? Besides, this time someone will come with us to clean up the land. Qingying said. Okay. Although picking a fruit and leading such a large team, it's a bit inspiring. But considering the presence of fierce beasts and for the sake of her own life, Qinghu agreed. Not far from the village under construction is a vast expanse of wasteland, all of which were cultivated by the former lord and his subordinates. The paths crisscross, and the waterways are still useful. Unfortunately, the fields have been abandoned for too long, and the weeds have grown to half a person's height. There are also wild vegetables and other wild mushrooms in the wasteland, as well as some randomly growing leftover vegetables. Although these vegetables and wild vegetables have holes in their roots, stems, and leaves, some are still left with only a little bit bitten by something. But their underground fruits or edible rhizomes should still be intact. The mortal men and women who followed were greatly moved when they saw these edible things. However, they were tempted but dared not take action, until the Brigade Wu approached the small hill mentioned by Qinghu. Jing arranged for everyone to stand in their positions and form a line. Then Jing, along with Qingchuan, Deng Xiaolai, and 2 cultivators, rushed into the rotten grass that had grown half a person tall. Give it a big bang inside. That's really snake swimming, rat running, chicken flying, rabbit running. The big scheme immediately went haywire. At first, several small sesame chickens ran out, and with a sound of excitement, they were all nailed to the ground by Qingchuan and Xiaobai with bamboo arrows, or directly shot on their wings. Quickly, the ordinary people with ropes rushed into the nearby grass or towards the spot where the little sparrow was shot, quickly catching them and picking them up into one grass basket after another. Those who die will naturally wait to be plucked and eaten, while those who live will be treated with some medicine. They can be raised in the future to eat meat and lay eggs. Xiaoma chicken is a 9th-order ferocious beast that has been domesticated by the human race for many generations. Long lost its ferocity, I only know how to run away and scream when I see people. They don't have the agility of their ancestors, and as soon as they are chased and driven away, they know to run silently. In addition to the small sesame chicken, there are also some large snakes and field mice. Those big snakes are all as thick as their wrists, surging and able to pull out a line in the weeds, which is quite frightening. Don't say anything about the big field mouse. A bunch of mice started running, and the wild grass was squeezed out a path. The bamboo arrows start with a sound. However, the main thing left behind is the little sesame chicken, which is everyone's tacit understanding. The best thing to eat is small sesame chicken. However, the running speed of the little sparrow chicken has long been honed by the big snakes and field mice in the wild, even using its feet and wings. Even the flying arrows did not leave them all behind. There were also many little sparrows that flew towards freedom. But because the human cultivators have taken good care of them. It's a bit tragic. Surprisingly, all the baskets brought were full. There are a total of 67 living ones. There are still 20 or 30 dead. This is because the cultivators accidentally missed the arrow and shot it directly through the neck or head. After the gray rabbit, there were about 10 small wild beasts who were not advanced. The teeth are quite large, but their attack power is limited. About 10 rabbits, most of them have already died, leaving only 4 rabbits alive, including 3 male rabbits and 1 female rabbit. Jing asked someone to touch the medicine on the still-alive rabbit and put it in a straw basket. Xiaohua, now we don't even need to buy breeding chickens and rabbits. Wait for them to clean up the wasteland, then burn it, and even more rabbits can run out, said little Qinghu as she looked at the living creatures in the grass basket. Ordinary people cannot eat ferocious beast meat at once. Drinking too much meat soup is also a problem. These small animals happen to solve their carnivorous problem. There are many ferocious rabbits, but obviously these rabbits in front of us are also descendants of some ferocious rabbits that are waiting to be domesticated by the human race. Therefore, although they have gained freedom, they have not returned to their ancestors to become ferocious beasts. And they just had a small harvest of rabbits, not because there were really few rabbits in this wasteland, but because rabbits knew how to dig holes. Taking advantage of the opportunity for human cultivators to professionally take care of little chickens, most of them fled back to their own holes. When it was time to burn the land, the thick smoke and scorching fire made the foolish rabbits run out again. That's right, Deng Xiaolai. You're here to watch everyone clean up the wasteland. Let's go to the small hillside over there to pick fruits. If you have anything to do, just shout out, Qing instructed. Okay, young master, Deng Xiaolai said to himself. He has also stepped onto the management position and achieved great success. Qinghu saw that she could finally go pick fruits and immediately rushed towards Xia Shanbao with Xia Baxing. Hello, I said you wait. We haven't cleaned up the small hill over there yet, why did you rush over there? What if there's a ferocious beast? Qinghu pretended not to hear it and ran away excitedly. As a result, she had just rushed into the small hill before waiting for her to pick fruits when she saw a black figure flying over and hugging her head. Oh my, that sharp, knife-like claw, shining with a cold light, was about to be grabbed towards her face and neck. Qinghu also punched first and then hit first, panting on the opponent's big head. Suddenly, a big mouse with a black belt and wing membrane was knocked to the ground by her. The black-skinned rat was beaten hard and barely got up from the ground, shaking its big brain. Before it could charge back towards the enemy, it was kicked and hit by a big stone by Qinghu. It was really knocked unconscious this time. Squeak after a few weak screams, it completely fainted. Jing quickly rushed forward and gave the big black mouse a colorful tie. I'll go, Qinghu. You're amazing. This is the 9th level ferocious beast, the flying Apsara's rat, and it was knocked unconscious by your violence. Qinghu looked at her sister with a shocked expression, suddenly realizing that she had transformed from a cute girl to a female warrior. What should she do? It's just a little flying mouse, I can't do it anymore, Qinghu said with a proud expression on her face. I am at least a cultivator of the 4 levels of Qi refining. If you dare to directly challenge the 9th level flying mouse with the 4 levels of Qi refining, you can do it. You really deserve to be my younger sister. Qing gave her a big thumbs up. Alright, it's time for your brother's performance now. You stand here and press the formation, don't move around. Watch your brother's 9th level cultivation of flying mice in this big battle. End of this chapter.